Okay, today's video we're talking about these brand lists that Google Ads has had as a new feature for some time. I'm going to tell you what it is and basically why you don't need it, or why, if you are potentially planning to use it, why it'd be a dumb idea compared to other alternatives that you basically have. Okay, so by the end of the video, I'll have all the information you need to have about these brand lists, which are inside the tools and settings inside Google Ads for you to block certain brands or brand related searches of your competitors from triggering your search ads or your PMAX campaign ads in and itself, kind of like a negative keyword or negative keyword list is supposed to work, or does, should I say, work inside your ad accounts as an alternative for using negative keywords. Negative keywords are better to block your competitor searches than a brand list, but you have to be able to, of course, put a little bit more work in to use the negative keyword list to block your competitors' brands. But it's worth it because you get a lot more effective results out of it. And not blocking your competitors' searches, if you are in a service business particularly, you're throwing a ton of money away, because all the people that are going to search for your competitor services, particularly if there's a longer process to deliver that service, such as if you were going to do cabinet installation, kitchen cabinet installation, people are going to type in your competitor's brand name into Google. They're going to see an ad pop up. If your ad pops up, they're half the time not going to even read the ad. They're just going to assume the ad that shows up for them is the ad that reflects what they were searching for, because they assume Google's system can refer to them the right thing without having to read, and people are lazy, or they just have been accustomed to having Google suggest what is shown to them automatically is the right thing without having to read. They click on your ad, waste your budget, waste your salesperson's time, find out that you are not them, and then leave. Whereas some people might think, of course, that, oh, that's good. If somebody that was looking for a competitor calls us, even if they were looking to hire that competitor or haven't hired anybody yet in their space, meaning they could get their business, that would be the thing to do. But the reality is, even then, you're usually not going to get a return out of your company unless that person already knows, of course, that you are who you say you are and you're not that competitor before they click on their ad. You want people that would be able to potentially see your ad and say, hey, this other company, I haven't heard of them before, and then get people that were initially looking for the competitor to find you and then get to your site so you could potentially sell to them, but not mistakenly seeing your ad, clicking through and buying. So there's a distinction there, of which the difference being here that if you're going to target your competitor's term and have it work out, you got to say something that's going to, for the other half, that it actually does read your ad, that would make them want to actually click on your ad versus, oh, that's not the competitor, I'm going to go somewhere else. Because just simply saying you offer the service too isn't good enough. You got to say something like, first time customers get XYZ, so the half that do read your ad want to actually click on your ad, and then there's value there. But with all that said, targeting competitor terms, for most people, unless you're going to have a unique strategy to woo those people over to you, you don't want to show up for your competitor terms, if you will, for it to be able to make you a return. And if you're selling products, it's the same thing. Just having your ad show up there isn't going to help you unless you have something that can get the people who do read your ad successfully and not just click on it without reading. Give them a reason to click on your ad and get to your site, namely saying how you're better or you're cheaper or what have you, or that you have a first-time customer special, what have you, because that makes competitor searches profitable at that point in time. You get the click-through rate that you need and so forth. With that said, I'll go into detail then on this brand list thing, the features about it if you still are planning on using it, and then of course what your alternatives are. So I've railed on broad match campaigns on Google Ads before many, many times. Once in a great while we'll use brand campaigns after we can't get any more searches or any clicks on our ads. When we have already ran exact match keywords and phrase match keywords, okay, which is where you put the bracket around the keyword or the quotes around the keyword. Why? Because I always go after the stuff that's most likely to work first and then reinvest profits into something that's less likely to work, that will take longer to optimize, because we can still get stuff that's less likely to work if we have enough data telling us what aspects of what we did will work versus not work, and then peel apart and peel away the part of what we didn't work, so that we're left with the part that just worked. Broad match keywords that you are going to advertise on, half of it or more can be waste. So it's going to take you time to make that profitable. And in the time that it's not profitable, of course, you're burning a bunch of money. So why do that up front when you can go after these so-called exact match keywords that are mostly all relevant clicks you would want and profitable sooner? So broad match keywords are, at least if you're going to use them, not something you should use first. And for most people, you never actually get to the stage where you've gotten every possible click on your exact and phrase match keywords. And then therefore, there is no use for broad match keywords legitimately. So you should be using exact or phrase match keywords, which means these brand lists aren't going to help you, because you cannot actually use the brand list unless you're using broad match keywords, okay? So therefore, that's why I say on the topic of this video here that using the brand list is dumb, because using broad match keywords is dumb. So transitively here, you don't want to be using brand lists, because that means you're using broad match keywords, which means you're probably not getting a very good return, or at least getting a better return. You would get a better return using the phrase or the exact match keywords in your market instead. So that said, okay, and then I'll also say, in addition to this, as some additional commentary to add here, the fact that Google has taken the time to make this an individual feature, brand lists, shows how dumb broad match and PMAX campaigns always is and are, given that you can't even add negative keywords to a regular search campaign and have, while you're using broad match keywords, and block all the damn brand searches. It's like playing a game of whack-a-mole that never ends, showing how dumb broad match keywords effectively is then. That there's so much waste in broad match that you can't make money, and that you need the brand list thing feature in the first place just to make the campaigns profitable. I'm sure Google's heard enough complaints from like their ad reps and stuff like that, that they had to add this brand list because they didn't have time to add all the negative keywords for all the brand searches. And their people were saying on those calls that they have with their customers, I'm getting all these competitors, people trying to call the competitor, calling, and it's annoying the piss out of us. How do we block it? And they needed an easy way to block it, because adding all those negative keywords for each variant of every brand search there was unfeasible for the Google reps to do, and unfeasible for the Google reps to tell their customers to do it. And then on PMAX, of course, you can add negative keyword lists to PMAX campaigns now, but it's the same thing there as regular with search campaigns. So it just reveals how stupid broad match and PMAX campaigns are in favor of search campaigns with exact or phrase match that doesn't have all that waste to begin with. Okay. Now, if you are going to use broad brand lists, so here to block the competitor searches anyway, you're determined to do this. Okay, it does actually block a lot of your competitor budgets, competitor clicks. And it does do a pretty good job compared to nothing, or compared to not having any competitor negative keywords. However, it's not going to block them all. Okay, percentage-wise, it might only block 60 to 80%. Then if you want the rest, which that's still a pretty significant amount that's going to slip through, you're going to have to add those negative keywords on top of the brand list. So why even do it in the first place is my opinion on it, because of the 60 to 80% that it does catch, it's the searches that get searched over and over and over and over again, and therefore it's easy to block those searches anyway, because they're the ones that get searched over and over again. So looking at your search terms report, it's easy to pick those out and add them as negative keywords. The hard ones to add are the ones that only get searched once in a while, of which the brand list doesn't even get rid of. So again, you're better off adding the negative keywords, and where it could be useful, it it's not even doing anything. It could block the long tail competitor searches, and it doesn't. You know, where they're typing in like competitor name and then the words phone number. Like, it'd be useful if it would block a term like if your competitor name was Joe's Pest phone number. If someone typed that in, it'd be nice if you added Joe's Pest in the brands list, that it would block it, because that in and itself only gets searched maybe once a month. And so to properly block all the Joe's Pest related searches, you might have to have 100 different negative keywords to block every variant of every way someone's searching for Joe's Pest, assuming that was like the leader in the market space, local space that you're in, and a lot of people do business with them. But it doesn't do that. It'll block the Joe's Pest, but not the Joe's Best phone number, at least as far as the testing I've done on it, which isn't a ton of testing, but enough. So there's that, okay? And for the other thing is that most of the smaller companies that need to block smaller competitors, they don't even have them on the brands list to choose. And effectively, if you try to request to add a brand, it doesn't do anything. You don't get a notification from Google saying, here you go. So it only is in other words, then it's only effective if your competitors are big brands or bigger companies in general. So overall, it's not really useful unless you're a big company. And then even if you are a big company, it doesn't block all the searches. You still need some negative keywords on top of the brand list feature anyway. And then on top of that, you shouldn't even be using brand keywords to start with, because, you know, let alone all the brand search crap triggering your ads that you don't want to trigger your ads. You got all the other shit triggering your ads, like what is, you know, pest control, if you were doing pest control, and how much is pest control, when, you know, that person's just looking for information. And if you're not to the stage of wanting people that are looking for information, which is useful and you can monetize that type of traffic, but until you monetize the stuff like pest control near me or pest control services, you have no business doing that. You go after the most profitable stuff first, and then parlay the profit from that into stuff that's more challenging to get to work, which you may have to have a page on your site just with, you know, pest control pricing on it and content about how, you know, prices and everything, and you know, educate the consumer so that after they search for that, if, you know, the 10% of people who search for pest control costs that are going to go on to hire somebody, that you now are in the running for that more than the other local companies in the area, which is why you go after that type of traffic too in your market, just as a quick side piece of information. But you get what I'm trying to overall convey about this whole scenario for you, and brand lists and what the problems with it is, and where it can be useful but isn't very useful at the end of the day. So with that said, I'll keep this video brief, and that's the need to know information about brand lists, okay? If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days. You can, by the way, ask me any question you have about online advertising or even online business. I'd be happy to try to help you as best as I can. Haven't been doing business online for 15 years and managing dozens of ad accounts for the clients that I help on an ongoing basis. So you're getting information straight from the source. I'm not a YouTuber or a person who sells courses. I manage ad accounts all day. So it's the best information you're going to find to be able to online and on YouTube in general. And so therefore you should subscribe to the channel. And you should also, if you like the information I presented to you here and want more like it, you should also check out my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog, where you can find written content from myself as well as on my column on entrepreneur.com. You can follow me there as well, and the information is just as good over there. Beyond that, if you thought the video had a lot of value, I'd appreciate it if you would give it a like. And if you want somebody to help you make a ton more money with your online ads, instead of doing all the hard work for yourself, consider reaching out to my firm and letting me tell you how much more sales results I can get for your company if you were to hire me to be your ad strategist and help you execute on what we need to do to get you more results. I do not we guarantee all our work, and I do not charge fees to our clients up front until we get you a minimum amount of sales results on your campaigns up front, or a minimum amount of increase in leads, typically on your same ad budget that you have, which means whatever you pay our agency is just out of the profit that you're going to be making in addition to what you're making already up front. So if you're interested in that type of thing, you can reach out to me. I'll see if we can work together. We don't work with just any client. We got to know we can get results for you to work together, but at the very least you can reach out and see if we can work together, and I can give you a free assessment on what you got, what's the opportunities with it. It's the best. I'm going to be the best ad manager, I promise you, you're going to find online that's findable or not locked away somewhere that you can't access. And we're the only ones offering any guaranteed results of any kind that you can find online as well. So it should say something about the quality of what we're doing here. And we're forced to give you accurate information, otherwise we lose money telling you what you want to hear if what you have doesn't look like can get results in the first place. That said, if you're not looking for an ad manager now or in the future, and you're like a guy or gal who likes to do it yourself, if we've worked in your space before, you can do yourself a big favor by using our campaign templates that we may have, having worked in your industry before, for your own company. In that, if we've worked in your space, we can sell the templates that we have used to also get results for a client in your space in a different geographic market. And with that, we can tell you what results we've gotten on our campaigns for a different client in your space before, and then therefore what you would get with your campaign templates that we would give you, that you could literally copy and paste results into your account with the ad templates, the campaign templates, landing page templates, all of it to get results in your market. This is a really popular service that we've been using and offering for the last few months now. And these templates work well enough that people are starting side businesses with the templates themselves, which wasn't my intention to begin with, but they're using it to generate leads and then have somebody else do the work. And because the templates are so effective, they're able to do that. And but if we worked in your market before, you should at least consider using our templates, because it can shortcut your way to success. You won't have to spend near the money or time getting the results that you want ultimately in your market by using our templates. And the templates are going to cost you way less than having to figure out what we had to figure out in your market for yourself. So if you reach out, I'll let you know if we have worked in your market, what results we've gotten in your market, and then what the fees for the templates would be. Or if you're interested in starting something up on the side, you're doing services now, you want to get into e-commerce, we've got e-commerce campaign templates that work in the US market that were used internationally, or vice versa, where you wouldn't be in competition with the client that we have ever, but you could use the results that they're using in one market in your market. So anyway, if you're interested in that, let me know. I'll wrap it up with that though. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, it was useful for you, and I'll see you on the next one. See you then.